Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's Godzilla versus Kong, which is out in theaters and also on HBO Max. Welcome, everybody. Before I get started, let me take care of a little business and then we'll get started. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching, tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. I just changed it out today, as a matter of fact. And also I have links to my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tiers set on the Patreon just as of yet, but I'm very, 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 very close. I'm waiting until I hit 1,000 subscribers, and then I'll put some tiers up there. Also, I have the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Let's do the non-spoiler version of Godzilla versus Kong. So, giant lizard, giant ape, fighting it out, kaiju, with some stupid human stuff off on the side. You know the whole thing about what's going on here. You got a big lizard and you got a big monkey fighting against each other, and chaos ensues. If you haven't been living underneath a rock, you probably already know who the villain is. The villain actually has been teased out, and actually they gave him his own trailer, as a matter of fact, which I thought was kind of stupid. It kind of ruined the surprise of things. And yeah, that was kind of one of the things that kind of bummed me out. But I love giant kaiju. I love kaiju movies, but this one did not do it for me. I don't know what it is about Adam Wingard and his directing style, but it just kind of bores me. It leaves me flat. And uh, if you want to see a good kaiju movie that you can, a modern one, I should say, is Guillermo del Toro, of course, doing Pacific Rim. That's a good kaiju movie where you're balancing the human equation with the giant robots and giant, monsters. I can't recommend this one. I really can't. I mean, even if I saw this in the movie theater, I'd probably be pissed at myself for seeing it. I know I said the same thing about Godzilla King of the Monsters, where it was an okay movie, but it wasn't like knock it out of the park for me. And yeah, I mean, Philip says, I like the fights, but no Kong Dong. Yes. Thankfully, we didn't have to suffer through Kong Dong. I agree, yeah. Less said about that, the better. And he didn't have to wear a giant diaper either, which was good too. It made you wonder though about some things, but I'll get into that in the spoiler version. Yeah, there were some really dumb subplots aside, and like I said, I'll get into that in the spoiler version as well. 12-year-old me probably would have loved this movie, quite honestly. It was a disconnect your brain and just watch a giant CGI fight going on. That was about it, but there was maybe 3 fight scenes in there, and then one of them was just way too fucking long. I'm sorry. It just really was. It was kind of pointless almost in a way. And yeah, it just, unfortunately, it didn't do anything for me on this one. Sorry. I know there's people out there that are going to love it, but I'm not one of them. So, with the non-spoiler version out of the way, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil stuff. So if you haven't seen the movie, run away. Go and see it or not, depending on however you want to do it. And, you can come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. All right. Are you there still? Huh? Are you still there? And by the way, this is actually, this nice paddle is from Viking Bitch, from Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch, by the way. I haven't mentioned her in a while, which I should, honestly, because she does nice work. So There we go. She's also one of my mods who I haven't seen in a while. So, yes, I know. I know you're still there. Mufinobi says, I was disappointed by the soundtrack a bit without some original Toho music inspiration like King of the Monsters. Bear McCreary did a great job on the last one. Supposedly he's in talks to do God, I can't remember. He's supposed to be doing the soundtrack to something else recently. I like Bear. He's not bad, but yeah. Applecurse says, I really like the other MonsterVerse movies, but yeah, this one was very meh. I agree. So the whole subplot with Millie Bobby Brown's character and her finding the conspiracy theorist dude, now I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden, Bernie Hayes, was really fucking annoying. It really was. And I mean, it was just there so that you could get to the MacGuffin of them finding the satellite uplink to sever the connection between Mechagodzilla and Ghidorah. So Ghidorah, excuse me. So Ghidorah, the skull is still there. They're using it somehow to supercharge Mechagodzilla. Don't know why. Honestly, I didn't need to know how. It was just kind of one of these stupid, wavy of the hand kind of things. The one thing that did make me also laugh though was the company Apex. Of course, Apex Predator and all that kind of stuff. The lead, of course, of the company, Damien Bichir is the name of the actor. He played Walter Simmons. Reminded me for some reason of a Latino version of Roger Rees, who was on Cheers. He played Robin Colcord. And throughout the 90s, Robert Rees always played this evil British dude, whether it was in movies or TV series or something like that. He was always the evil British dude because, those Brits are really fucking evil, right? And for some reason, he reminded me of a Latino version of Robert Rees. And every time he came on, I started laughing. And I mean, I don't know if that was the intention or not, but yeah, I mean, I literally was laughing every time he would come on. And I didn't know if that was supposed to be, part of the comedic bit or what. But yeah, whatever. Also, Millie Bobby Brown's character, her father, who I didn't bother remembering his name because he really wasn't important. He was just there to go, why aren't you following what I'm saying? That's pretty much all he was there for. It was really fucking stupid. It really was. Yeah. I liked his daughter getting palmed by. Oh my God. Thanks, Mufinevi. He wasn't even upset by the death of his. I don't think he knew about the death of his daughter. I really don't think he knew about that at all. Because I mean, the one thing I did like about this was the Hollow Earth thing, which is a different story altogether. The Hollow Earth, and they kind of melded two movies into one, really, to give Kong a place to live now that Skull Island is destroyed. Which, when the fuck did Skull Island get destroyed? I don't remember that happening, or maybe that happened in the other Kong movie. I actually didn't watch the second Kong movie. I'll tell you that right now. It just held no appeal for me for some reason. I just didn't bother watching it. So, yeah. Penn says, but he didn't even follow up and check on her. He kept texting her and said, why aren't you calling me? Didn't you see that part where he was texting her? It says, call me immediately. And he wasn't getting a response back because, of course, she was in the center of the earth. Applecrow says, no, they just hand waved that. Was there a second Kong movie after Skull Island? I don't think so. The only one I remember is the Peter Jackson one, which was, less said the better. Yes, I know there's a lot of people that loved it. I was not one of them again. I thought there was another one. So was it Skull Island? Okay, so Skull Island. So yeah, I was wondering, was there a movie that I missed in between where Skull Island got destroyed by a gigantic storm? Because why were they putting him in some virtual reality? There was shit that just didn't make any sense. It really didn't. And I was like, was there something that I missed? Was there a prequel? Was there a comic book I was supposed to read? Was there a YouTube video that was made that we were supposed to watch beforehand? Was there a pamphlet or something? A brochure, something like that? But yeah, oh my god. Uh yeah. I mean, so there's some cool stuff, I guess if you're a kid. I sorry, but yeah, it the whole thing with the axe with one of Godzilla's I guess spines on it or something like that. That could be supercharged by Godzilla's breath, and they, work together to fight Mecha Godzilla and save the day. But Godzilla still wins in the end because Kong needs to drop his axe and become subservient to Godzilla. Was there ever a Kong power axe before? No, not that I know of. Maybe in the video game. Oh wait. Apple Crow says they hand wave the storm killing everyone and Godzilla killing off the monsters. No, Godzilla killing off the monsters was supposed to be in King of the Monsters. Is he was the one that won everything. Yeah. So that I actually did an Is It Worth My Time for that one as well. And I think I remember I said it wasn't worth my time on that one. Yeah. Big surprise. Adam Wingard. Yeah, not the best director in the world. And his camera work. Oh my god. Also, did you see the King Kong Lives homage, at least with the MacGuffin ship that, is a gravity inverter, but has enough power to, what was they said, light up Las Vegas for a week? Yeah, it could power Las Vegas for a week. And so they put it on Kong's chest as his heartbeat is slowing down to give him a jump start. Oh man. And then Skarsgård is able to run from Kong's chest and at least, a mile away from Kong before that ship explodes in about 5 seconds. Which, I mean, I don't know about you all, but I was screaming at the screen, "Run, Forrest, run!" Because, yeah, that's it was just one of the fucking stupidest scenes, man. It really was, but it was a King Kong Lives homage, I guess you could say. At that point, I was kind of laughing about that. I just wanted a little Linda Hamilton cameo on that one, and you know, do a little open heart surgery on some Kong there. Penn says Kong won because he spared Godzilla. No, Kong didn't. He gave up because he was retired, is what was going on. Kong was finally like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm tired. I'm too old for this shit, is what he said. And he dropped the axe and went to go and retire down in Florida. I mean, the Hollow Earth is where he went to go retire. Mufino, he says the Kong axe with dorsal plate at least gave him a chance to deflect, but the director leaned into the blue radioactive breath. Yeah, he did. I mean, Godzilla was just pretty much had that thing on blast all the time. It's like, and just hosing down everything. And those poor people in Hong Kong. I mean, yeah, Hong Kong's never going to be the same after that one. Apple Crow says, I'd like to know what the Navy makes its keels out of, because no way do those ships not get trash, or our Titans just featherweight. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they made their keels out of either. Considering that Kong full on jumped onto that ship and all it did was kind of bow down into the water, I'm like, really? That's all it did? It just kind of bobbed into the water? Okay, sure. Yeah. Hosing down Hong Kong. Yes, that's the hashtag. Hosing down Hong Kong. Oh, man. And I'm sorry, I'm still kind of reeling over the whole Ghidorah taking over Mega Godzilla and fighting Kong and Godzilla at the same time. It just, oh my god, who came up with that plot? I mean, wow, yeah. Titans can't break steel beams unless they're slapping them. Apple Crow, remember, because they're able to go through the buildings pretty easily with hands. They're slap fights. It's a slap fight. That's what they should have had the kaiju's do. Is a little slap fight. That would have been funny. Yeah. Who greenlighted the plot? Somebody at Warner Brothers who was fucking high on coke. Obviously, butt chugging at its finest. Yeah, but it's gonna make a lot of money anyway. It already did at the box office. So, I mean, even though it's out on HBO Max, and if you have an HBO Max subscription, there you go. Movie Noe says, I think Kong was more of a heavy, more like a heavy container ship, but the carrier wouldn't have survived two Titans. Yeah. It was very so I've talked about this before. When you're doing CGI characters and you don't take gravity into effect, you don't take weight into effect, it becomes comical more than anything else. And Peter Jackson's King Kong is a perfect example of this, where Kong looks like he's only like 75 pounds when he lands on things and whatnot. Um, Same thing with Adam Wingard here, is they're not taking into account this gigantic fucking creatures that are landing onto essentially flimsy items and would be breaking ships in half fairly easily. I mean, they're not going to be taking that kind of pounding. I mean, come on, a good storm takes down a carrier, an aircraft carrier. So, I mean, a tornado kind of thing. And obviously, these guys are a lot stronger than a tornado or a hurricane, I should say. Tornado, hurricane, you know what I mean. Penn says it still wasn't bad. We have seen, yes, there has been a lot worse. I agree with you. But yeah, I just can't recommend this one. I can't recommend this one at all. Apple Crow says, for me at least, this was such a departure from the previous films. Godzilla, for all its lack of Godzilla, was a very well made movie. Kong Skull Island is also sort of unique. I haven't seen Kong Skull Island. No, I haven't actually. So I think it's on HBO Max. I probably should watch it at some point just so I can be disappointed again on something else. Apple Crow says King of the Monsters was a kaiju romp. This was basically Bayformers with atomic breath. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, not a fan. Yeah, I mean, seriously, sometimes you need some of these filmmakers to go through a basic class in physics if you're going to be doing this kind of movie. If you're going to be doing any kind of sci-fi movie that's going to rely heavily on CGI. And I hate to say it, but it just becomes kind of comical more than anything else. I mean, uh, what was it at one point? Godzilla, or not Godzilla, Kong is picking up airplanes and throwing them at Godzilla, off the aircraft carrier. And I'm like, so throwing it like that, they kind of break apart first because of the way you're throwing them and the amount of force you're exerting on them, and those wings would kind of rip off. And yeah, but hey, sure, what not? It's a movie, I know. It's make believe. Joker says Kong Skull Island has some great Sam Jackson scenes. That's probably the only reason I would watch it, is because of Sam Jackson. Yeah. The whole, I mean, like I said, the whole subplot for Apex and Millie Bobby Brown and her cadre of people going underground, and Apex having this large underground railway system, if you will, with maglev. Uh, I mean, that was its own movie in of itself, and it was like, why do we have this? Oh, just so they could get to Hong Kong, and they can turn off the satellite by pouring fucking whiskey over a console board, because that actually relays the code to the satellite to sever the link to the satellite. Remember that, Mufinabi, if you ever need to actually stop something bad from happening on a computer, that is actually hooked into trying to control another piece of equipment, you just pour some liquid over the computer, and that'll take care of it right there. Yeah. Um, Alpacruz, I half expected Tattoo to show up and tell the Apex CEO to get to the plane. Oh, that's bad, but it's funny at the same time. It really is. Here we get a Ricardo Montalban joke as well out of that. Some fine Corinthian leather made out of Godzilla's one of Godzilla's scales. Applecross says the plot demanded that Kong lead them to the power source, even though the apex apparently was already well established in the Hollow. Yeah, I didn't. Well, they weren't established in the Hollow Earth. They were just under the Earth. So I still don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand most of it. There was no logical sense to some of the plots in this. So, yeah. Saturday Night's Fantasy Island. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, with that said, no, it's not worth your time. Don't bother unless you like the first couple of Adam Wingard movies, then go for it. Then it's probably something you're going to like. Yeah, it dude, man. Yeah. It's not something I'm going to revisit. Just kind of like I'm not going to revisit, Peter Jackson's Kong. I'm not going to revisit Godzilla King of the Monsters. If anything, I'll go and rewatch some of the old Godzilla movies, the Toho Studio ones, because a guy in a suit made out of tree bark was actually a lot better than what they just did here. Applecross says the pitch meeting for this is just the director smashing two action figures. Pretty much, yeah. And then they fight. And Godzilla's got an axe. Or wait, King Kong's got an axe. No, I did not watch Tom and Jerry. I was not going to put myself through that, Joe. I already have enough mental issues as it is without having to have a full psychotic break by watching that. All right. With that said, thank you to everybody joining me today in the chat or tonight in the chat. And thank you for making it this far in the video. What else do I have on tap for the rest of this week? Well, Wednesday I'm off. Thursday I might be off. It depends on when Invincible, the next episode of Invincible drops. If it drops early enough, I might do it on Thursday. If not, it's going to go over to Sunday. If that's the case, then Friday is going to be a new episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Saturday is Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and your genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. Sunday will be a double header. Then at that point, it'll be Invincible, episode 5, and the new show, The Nevers, on HBO Max, which will probably be around 7 p.m. ish, maybe 8 p.m. ish, depending on when it actually airs. And yeah, you can take a look at the schedule up there as Penn is putting up there. Monday I'll be off, and then of course Tuesday rolls back around again to another Is It Worth My Time? And I don't know what I'm doing as of yet. I'll think of something as we roll along here. Joker says great soundtrack to Godzilla. That was kind of funny. So Move Finobi said the exact opposite of you. on that one. He wasn't happy with it. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I will see you again on Friday, maybe Thursday, but most likely Friday. So until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get stomped on by a giant monkey because you're just not looking where you're going and you kind of pissed him off. And, you know, you won't be able to answer daddy's phone calls when he's texting you, even though he knows you're in the hollow earth, in the center of the earth, and there's no cell phone reception there. But anyway, I'm sorry. It was just a stupid plot. It really was. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you again on Friday. Until then, stay safe, take care, be well, and wear those masks and get those injections if you can for the vaccine. I'll see you on Friday. Until then, take care. Have a good night.